Hey, thanks so much for stopping by and checking out the video. Make sure if you need more help with the throwing events or how to train for them, go check out the website, elitethrowscoaching.com. You can check out our ebooks, you can check out our downloadable videos, do a video analysis, but make sure you check out our camp tab as well. We do a big overnight camp every year. We also do camps and clinics all around the country on the weekends during track season. So make sure to see if we're coming to your area, and if we are, hopefully we get to see you out there with us. Hey everyone, in today's video we are going to be talking about sort of the continuation of the last video that we did. So in the last video we talked about what you were supposed to do outside in the throwing area on the days that you are in the weight room. And today what I wanted to do is give you just sort of a brief outline, a brief understanding of what you should be doing on those days that you are actually in the weight room. So for a recap of what days you should be in the weight room, and sort of how those fall around your track meets during the competition time of year and during the championship time of year, go back and check out video number 4. We want to spend as much time as possible today talking about what happens in the weight room. Well, if you take a look at the whiteboard behind me right here, we've already kind of laid out a bunch of things that you should be doing and sort of what's happening during certain times of the year. So right here we have what should be happening during your practice time of year. In the middle part of the season, this is your competition time of year where all your dual meets and small invites are happening. And right here, this is your championship season, the championship time of year. Now, for those of you people that are watching this and that get through about half this video and think that Coach Matt is full of crap and he doesn't know what he's talking about, make sure you stick around to the end of the video, and I'm going to explain exactly why I have my athletes train like this. All right, so the first thing that we want to talk about is the practice time of year. So this is the first 4 or 5 weeks of your season where you really don't have any meets. Or if you do have a meet, it might be like a little dual meet here or there, but basically the first third of your season. So the first third of the season, the exercises that you pick are going to be heavy. They are going to be done at a little bit of a slower tempo. The rep range is going to be very much that sort of bodybuilding, your classic rep range for when you go into a weight room. That 8 to 12 rep range. You know, people usually talk about, 3 sets of 12, 4 sets of 10, 5 sets of 8. Get in there and do your work, about 40 repetitions, whatever it is, stuff that you would see on like bodybuilding.com, stuff that you would see in like a bodybuilding or a men's fitness magazine or whatever it is from the drugstore shelf. This is what most people know happens in the weight room. Okay, so this is what most people are doing anyway. That's why I don't feel too bad about putting this video out at the end of practice time of year, because that's what most of you guys have been doing more than likely. So for the beginner athletes are going to do 8 to 12 repetition, nice and slow, controlled, slowly adding weight as they move along, and it's going to be a big learning process for them. They're going to be doing enough repetitions to learn the movement. They're going to be mastering and really working on that movement and slowly adding weight. For your intermediate people that may have been lifting, like your juniors and your sophomores that may have been lifting for a couple years now in the weight room, this is where they're actually doing their bodybuilding type stuff, hypertrophy work, putting on some size, putting on some muscle. They've already got a pretty good idea of what they're doing in the weight room, and really what we're working on doing is just going as heavy as possible. Let me slide over here. I'm sitting down on a weight rack. Going as heavy as possible for these exercises, but still getting that 8 to 12 reps. And for your seniors, for your juniors who have been in the weight room for a long time, have some experience, this is where they are mastering these movements. We're talking all out 12 rep maxes, 10 rep maxes, 8 rep maxes. By their last set of 8, they are dying. Their legs are screaming if they're squatting. Their upper body is screaming if they are benching. So, again, the accessory movements that you're going to do are going to be your classic, slower moving accessory movements. So, slower moving stuff are different types of squats. Maybe you go from a back squat to a front squat. Maybe you go to a heavy goblet squat. Maybe you go close grip bench press or a floor press, which is a variation of bench press where you're lying on the floor. Deadlift, maybe you go to a deficit deadlift. Maybe you go to a block pull or a rack pull. But again, heavy, and because it's heavy, you're not moving it quickly, you're moving it slowly. This is also where you're doing your slower body weight movements. Different types of pull-ups, different types of rows. This is where you're dragging heavy sleds. This is where you're using heavier dumbbells for dumbbell movements. This is where you're using heavier kettlebells for heavy kettlebell movements. You know, things like kettlebell RDLs and kettlebell deadlifts. This is where you're using the heaviest amount of weight. You're building that kind of size and strength at the same time with your accessory movements. Now, once your track meets start up, your dual meets and your small invites in the middle of the season, we're going heavier-ish. So, it's still slow. It's actually probably a little bit slower-ish than the first time because we're going 4 to 6 repetitions. Now, same rules apply. This is just more of a powerlifting / power building is like the new, hip way of saying it. But basically heavier bodybuilding stuff. You're still doing your squats, your bench press. You're still doing, the bodybuilding type stuff for your intermediate guys. The learning type process for your beginners. We're just kind of adding some weight and doing fewer reps. And again, mastering the heavy weight for your seniors and juniors, adding more weight, doing fewer reps. Essentially, it is a continuation of this. You're just going heavier and decreasing the repetitions. Okay, so heavier weight, fewer reps. That's what it's all about. We are building strength. Okay, from there, our accessory movements get a whole heck of a lot faster. So you can see what we're doing. We're blending strength with speed. How do you make sure you have speed in your accessory movements? Well, you do exercises that cannot be done slow. Have you ever done a slow jump? No, never happened. Have you ever done a slow clapping push-up? No, never happened. So you choose exercises that cannot be done slowly. Exercises where speed is a massive ingredient. So here are some examples. Different types of jumps or box jumps. Dumbbell clean and press, dumbbell snatch. We have barbell and dumbbell push presses, barbell and dumbbell jerks, clapping push-ups, different types of weighted jumps. Again, a jump where you just have like a 15 or a 20-pound dumbbell in each hand. And the more classic hard style, ballistic kettlebell exercises. These are things like your swings, your snatches, your cleans, your clean and presses, okay? Just your classic, RKC, Russian kettlebell, hard style kettlebell movements, okay? You can search those out and get certified if there is a place coming to your area or a company coming to your area. Finally, we have the championship time of year. So championship time of year, this is when you are moving as fast as possible for your main movements and as fast as possible for your accessory movements. So we are going super fast. We are doing 20 to 24 total reps of your main movement. So this is like 7 sets of 3, 8 sets of 3, 10 sets of 2, 12 sets of 2, and you're reading that right. It's not 2 to 3 sets of 10 or 3 sets of 8. It is 8 sets of 3, 9 sets of 3, 10 sets of 2, 12 sets of 2. And we're moving the weight as fast as possible because we are using a lower percentage of an athlete's 1 rep max or their estimated 1 rep max. You may not know your athlete's actual 1 rep max for the squat and the bench, but what we are going to do is go online and find something that will calculate your 1 rep max based on what they've been doing before that. Take a 35 to 50% of that 1 rep max, move it as fast as possible. It's all about speed. So literally on bench press, unrack the weight. If you're doing a set of 3, 1, 2, 3, rack it. If you're doing a set of 2, 1, 2, rack it. You are moving that weight as fast as possible. You're teaching your body to move super, super speedy. And then we continue over the speed work to the end of the year. Okay? So we are trying to balance, we're trying to build strength, and we are trying to turn that strength by the end of the season into speed, explosive, ballistic speed. Now, for the people that sat through this video, and those guys of you out there that have a PhD in bro science, you're probably wondering, what the hell am I talking about? This is nothing like you've read in the Russian texts. This is nothing like you saw, the top strength coach from the top track and field university in the country went to a track clinic near you and did something a little bit different than what we're doing here. Why do I have my athletes do it this way? Well, look at the title of the video. No coach, no problem. Who's this video for? This video is for the high school athletes, the high school coaches of those athletes. This video is for the college athletes that do not have coaches. These are for those athletes that really do not need anything fancy because they have never had a coach to teach them how to do this. When you're working with inexperienced high school athletes, you're working with athletes that don't have a lot of time under the bar, athletes that don't have a lot of experience in the weight room. You are not dealing with a high-level Division I scholarship athlete who is a freak of nature. This is the same reason I don't advise people to look at throwers like Christian Cantwell or Adam Nelson. I love those guys. I've met both of them, I've had drinks with both of those guys, I've eaten meals with those guys. They are great people, but they are freaks. They are athletic, phenomenon type of people. So you can't try to mimic what they do because they are the upper 0.0001% of throwers. And you can't do the workout of a top-tier, elite-level Division I thrower who has been in the weight room for 8 to 9 years, who has this ridiculous base of strength, who's squatting 500 to 600 pounds, who's jumping onto a 60-inch box, who's jumping over a 48-inch hurdle. You can't have an inexperienced 14, 15, 16-year-old kid do that. They need a base of strength. So yeah, this might not be as explosive or as specific as what you might read about in a very high-level Russian text. This may not be exactly what you would use for a top-tier, top-level Division I thrower. But for the average athlete, for the athletes who this video series is made for, that don't have coaches and don't have the experience in the weight room, this is going to be perfect. It's going to build your base of strength. It's going to increase that strength through the middle of the season. And it's going to try to taper that strength into being much more speedy, much more explosive. So ask yourself, for those athletes, is this going to work? If you're one of those athletes, is this going to work? You bet your ass. Absolutely, it's going to work. First day in the weight room, you're doing all your lower body stuff. Second day in the weight room, you're doing all your upper body stuff. Call it a day. Spend most of your time out in the circle throwing. Spend most of your time out in the circle getting better with your technique, and your throws are going to increase. We have proven it here for years and years and years. We have all-state athletes, all-state throwers, state record holders, scholarship athletes who have come out of this gym and started exactly where you were, at the bottom with no experience, and now they're some of the best throwers in the area. Follow what we're saying here. It works, guaranteed. Implement it into what you do. You're going to be much, much better by the end of the season. Thanks so much for checking out the video, guys. Go to EliteThrowsCoaching.com to learn more.